We must change Americans' mentality from that of need to that of desire. That is essentially what the great social engineer Paul Mazur of Lehman Brothers once said. Today, I'm going to discuss and talk about why I'm not getting the new Lexus GX550. Additionally, we're going to talk about why the dealer prices on such vehicles are so high right now. So let's get right to it. People want to know, why are the prices at these dealers so high on new vehicles such as the GX550 that's not even out yet, but people know it's going to be marked up? If you've been paying attention in the last 3-4 years, dealer prices are marked up. They call them market adjustments. And this is going to play into part of the reason why I'm not getting the Lexus GX550, at least in its initial release, aka as soon as it comes out. The reasons given for dealer market adjustments usually revolve around the ideas of basically greedy dealers or some sort of chip shortage, or the manufacturer purposely slowing down production in order to raise the price. Truth be told, and this may be a painful truth to some people, and that's what we're going to get into today, the reason why the dealers are able to mark up these new vehicles $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 or more is because of that Paul Mazur quote that I gave you in the beginning. Car buyers have moved away from buying cars for necessity or practical use or utility, and instead they see them as something to buy in the essence of newness. In other words, they're addicted to new stuff. Now, we see this over and over. If you hang out at a dealership, you'll see someone in a 2023 GX pull in to the Lexus dealership looking for a 2024 GX before it's even out. You'll see someone in a 2023 4Runner pulling in to get the next 4Runner. You'll see somebody in a Land Cruiser that's only 2 years old looking for the new Land Cruiser. The list goes on. This is not specific to Toyota or Lexus. This is the automotive industry in general. Because what has happened in essence in the automotive market is there's basically a market on top of a market. So in other words, there's this kind of pseudo market, even though it's real, but it's this extra growth of a market on top of the regular car buying market. And that is made up of people who just have to have the latest and greatest. And these people are the ones responsible for why you have a dealer markup. These automotive companies are not going out of business with these dealer markups, nor are the dealerships, which means there is a market for dealer markups. So now we have to ask, who in the world is paying that extra market adjustment? And the truth be told, a lot of people. You see a lot of YouTubers with new cars and they trade them in within months sometimes. In fact, when we got our 2022 Toyota Sienna, the Toyota dealer said that the average trade-in for a new vehicle is 2 years. He said after 2 years, people feel entitled to a new car. And it's that Paul Mazur programming, social engineering, is what he was asked to do by Lehman Brothers, to get people to quickly lose the concept of utility and usefulness of what they already have, and instead jump on this thing called new. They're putting prices on top of prices because people just have to have the newest crap, and they want to get rid of their already new crap just to get the next newest thing. There's no fancy way to say this. It is a bit of an addiction, in my opinion. And when you look at people that engage in this sort of behavior, in other words, when you look at people on YouTube or whatever that have a new car and then they're already talking about trading in their new car for a newer car before they've even used it, when you look at those people, there's something missing inside. It does seem like you're looking at an addict, a drug addict, substance abuser, whatever. There's something missing. They're not satisfied. They're chasing that dragon, so to speak, that next new, that next hit, that next drug of the latest and greatest. And it is quite interesting to observe. But I do think you're observing addictive behavior. Now, it's important to note that I'm not talking about normal inflation. That is the printing of money and dumping it on the world market that causes inflation, this never-ending inflation cycle that's been happening forever. I'm not talking about the normal inflation cycle. I'm talking about a phenomena that's kind of parallel to that, and that is this kind of Freudian car buying for the sake of newness on top of normal inflation. The range from when you buy a new car is narrowing from 15 years to 10 years to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 years, 4 years, 3, 2 years, 1 year, to now months between when someone feels they need a new car. Edward Bernays is noted as saying that people tend to buy things for Freudian reasons. In other words, not for what they say they're buying it for, but deep reasons inside that have to do with psychology and social stuff. I think this phenomena has entered the car buying market, and you see, even when people review new cars, it seems to be focused on the tech. Does it have the latest tech? Is the screen the newest? Is the screen the biggest? Is it the brightest? What tech, what features are coming out? And it's coming down to the wire. It's coming down to the point where people are dissatisfied unless they have the absolute leading edge technology. And one has to ask, are people seeking the latest technology or something else? So why am I not getting a brand new Lexus GX550 the moment it comes out? This thing has 20,000 miles on it. So it makes no sense insofar as a utility perspective, which is why we got the car, an enjoyment perspective, which is why we got the car, to trade it in or buy the next latest or greatest model when it only has 20,000 miles. It makes no sense. It only makes sense in that spirit of newness. And I, personally, am not addicted to such things. Do I think the GX550 is awesome? Absolutely. I've raved over and over about it. Would I get it eventually? Probably. But do I feel this pressing desire to get it right away when I have this GX with only 20 grand on it? No. But that's just me. It's up to the individual to decide if they're addicted to newness, be honest with yourself, or if they're the type that can appreciate what they have, get the most utility and value and usefulness out of what they already bought. Because like the addict, the newness addict I mentioned earlier, it is like a drug addict chasing the dragon, so to speak, chasing this mythical creature, chasing that next high, because they trade in the GX for the brand new 2024 GX550, and then guess what? Lexus will hit you next year with an upgrade. They'll add the front locker, they'll add some more luxury, and then you'll need to upgrade to that to feel happy. And then the following year they'll add a hybrid to that V6. They'll do the V6 Hybrid Max, so it'll get even more horsepower, more torque, and it'll have an inverter in the back, and then you'll need to get that. When does it end? Now let's get a little bit more objective, and this will appeal to everyone. And that is, what's the other good reason for keeping this GX460 versus getting a GX550? The thing that everybody's going to say. This thing is guaranteed to go a zillion miles. It's a tank. It's already been proven. It has been beaten up around the world, not just this country, around the world, and it's seen to go millions of miles. On top of that, all of the problems, the bugs, the issues have been sorted out. And those problems that still do exist with this GX460, they already have well-documented solutions for those problems, and they're readily available on the internet, forums, and or YouTube. So they're easy to fix. So you have that peace of mind that you can't get with any new vehicle. But of course, there's the flip side. Sure, you take some risk getting a Lexus GX550 with that twin turbo V6 or its hybrid setup and all the other new stuff that hasn't been proven yet, but you do get a lot more thrills. You're going to get a faster engine, more torque, more features. KDSS is going to articulate more. There's a lot of better stuff all around. You just have to ask yourself, based on what's going on with your life, where you fit in that balance of things. And then there's the concept of what's the rush? This GX has been on the market for a long time. And it's the same as the GX470, essentially, which has been around even longer. So this GX550, in whatever form it's going to be, whether it's hybrid or V6 twin turbo or turbo max with the V6, like the new Tundra, whatever form that they're going to make of it, it's going to be around for a while, so it's not going anywhere. And in fact, getting back to practical reasons to wait, the prices will tend to drop as the model year goes on. Those new people that that Paul likes to talk about, those new adopters that are addicted to new, they're the ones, as mentioned earlier, they're gonna be the ones responsible for that dealer markup. As that fades and the model gets older and those newness people fade away, you're going to see a stabilization of prices, meaning cheaper for you, and you're going to get more features because Lexus, of course, is going to add in a bunch of stuff over those model years to keep interest. This Lexus GX460, in its final iteration of the generation, has a lot of stuff that the first year GX460 did not have, let alone the GX470. So if that didn't make any sense, if you get the final year GX460, which is the 2023 model, you get a lot of stuff for a relatively cheap price. So these are some practical considerations to wait until the GX gets a little older. It's not going anywhere. It's probably going to be their model without any major changes for at least 15 years. But what if you can't wait? What if you are addicted to new? Is there anything wrong with that? No. Does it make you happy? If you have to have the latest and greatest and it makes you happy, go for it. So this is in no way a judgment. We're just talking about the two types that exist when it comes to whether they should get the new GX or keep their old GX. And keep in mind that the market craziness right now is a direct result of a relatively new trend in American automotive buying, which is trading up after a year and a half, 2 years to get the latest and greatest model. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.